What's up, guys? So for today's video, what I wanted to do was talk about 3 hip mobility drills that I really like for kids. Kids are sitting in school for about 6 to 8 hours a day. They go home, they do homework, and they're sitting down for another couple hours, and then they end up playing video games for a while. They're sitting all day long, their hips get extremely tight, and that can cause a ton of issues. You'll see this a lot in the younger generation that's playing sports. Either their hips are bothering them, their knees are bothering them, their quads, their hamstrings, their lower back. They have issues that they really shouldn't be having at that age, which is because their hips are so bound up and so tight because they're just sitting all the time. It causes a lot of issues throughout their body and a lot of injuries. So here are 3 ways that we can try and prevent those issues the best we can. So our first one is going to be right here. We're just going to drop down to the bottom of a squat. A couple things we want to focus on here. My heels have to be on the floor. That's really going to be the main thing. After that, I want it to be comfortable. So if that means I need to widen my feet out a little bit, bring them a little bit closer, whatever it might be, maybe I'm leaning forward just a little bit more. As long as my heels are on the ground, I'm good. We should be able to sit here all day. I tell kids all the time, get comfy, okay? This is something we want to be able to hold when we're a kid. If we can't, then we have some issues. We should also be able to do it as an adult. So if we can't get into this position, we definitely have some mobility issues that we want to address. And a lot of those issues can be addressed by just hanging out here. So what am I doing here? I'm just hanging out. I can bounce a little bit. I can maybe lean over to the side. Again, as long as my heel is staying on the floor, I'm good. I can take my elbows, maybe push my knees out a little bit, get comfy here. Maybe I'm just sitting, all right? Force your body to drop into this position. Open up your ankles, open up your hips, open up your lower back. This is a very relaxing position. Sit here 1, 2, 3 minutes. Maybe you do it for a minute, come out, shake it out for a little bit, and then go for another minute. We should be able to stay here for a little while. Again, moving off to the side, pushing the knees out, just the bottom of a squat hold, super straightforward one. We should all be able to hang out here for a little bit. Okay, so the next one that we're gonna do is gonna be a little more active. We're working on internal and external rotation. This is called either a 90-90 hip switch or a shin box switch. They're the same thing, it doesn't matter. So we're gonna set up just like this. I'm gonna have my front leg at a 90-degree angle, then my back leg at a 90-degree angle right here. Now, to the best of my abilities, I'm going to take my heels, leaving them exactly where they are, not using my hands. I'm going to bring my knees up and over to the other side. I get here, and I come back. Again, the best that I can. If I need to adjust myself, go ahead. Don't use your hands. Leave your heels where they are, up and over. Now, we can add to this one as well. We can make it a little bit more active. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to come up and over, and then lift up and over, and then lift up. If you can't do that part, then don't worry about it. That's totally fine. Another way that we can make that one a little bit more active is I'm gonna come here, lean forward, and then come right back up. Knees over, lean forward without touching the floor, come back up. If I need to push myself off the floor just a little bit, then go ahead. Play around with this one. There are a lot of ways to make it a little bit tougher and a little bit easier. If you need to, push yourself off the floor just a little bit. The goal is to not use our hands at all. If you scoot forward or back a little bit and your heels are moving, it's okay. Don't worry about that much. They're gonna move a little bit, all right? So that's gonna be another really good one. Give that one a shot. If you guys are looking for some programming advice on those hip switches, then I say try about 10 going each direction. Let your hips rest a little bit, shake them out. Give me that about 2 to 3 times. All right, so the last one we're gonna go over is called a couch stretch. For obvious reasons, you can do this one on a couch, but you don't need to. You can get a chair, a bench, like I've got right here, a wall, anything that you can put your foot up, you're gonna be good with. So here's how it's gonna go. I'm gonna get a little padding, because I'm gonna be here for a little while. Your knee's gonna start to bother you if you're just on hardwood floor, wood, or whatever it is. So get a little padding, and then from there, I'm gonna put my back foot up on the couch, bench, chair, doesn't matter. I'm gonna put my knee on the ground, and I'm completely upright. A lot of times when people do this one, they'll lean forward. The goal is to open up the hip that is up against here. So if I'm doing this, I'm closing it off. I need to open it up. From here, I can make this one a little bit more difficult. I can do 2 things. One, I can either push myself forward, get a little extra stretch in that back hip, and come back. Push myself forward, come back. Or what I can do is this glute, I'm going to squeeze that glute, squeeze that butt cheek. That's going to put my hips into full extension and open up that hip a little bit more. If this is too difficult for you, then what you're gonna do is just take your knee a little bit farther away from whatever you have your foot on. So that's too tough. I'm gonna go right here, knee out, get my leg up, and just like that, okay? Now my hip's not as open, it's not as much strain on it. This can be a little tough if you have very tight hips. Now, this one's more of a stretch. This one's not gonna completely fix any sort of hip mobility issues that you might have, but this would be a really good one to do after a long day of sitting at school or doing homework or after a game or something like that. This is a good one for some daily maintenance. If you only do this, it's not gonna cure your issues, okay? But this is another good one that we can add into maybe at the end of our day, end of our workout, that's gonna let your hips just relax a little bit, open up. If you need some help with that one, I'd say anywhere from 1 to 3 minutes. If you feel comfortable, hang out there. Sitting in a stretch for 30 seconds doesn't actually do anything. We've got to be in there for at least a minute. I prefer a minute and a half. Anywhere from a minute and a half to 3 minutes is my preference. So get comfy there, like I was saying with the bottom of the squat, and hang out there for a little while. So those are 3 hip mobility exercises I really do enjoy for kids. They're simple, they're effective, and you can do them anywhere. You don't need any equipment for them. Tight hips are a huge issue. They cause the majority of problems in kids, and it's something that is extremely fixable or avoidable, all right? So give those a shot and let me know how they go. Guys, thank you so much for watching today. If you made it this far and enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you enjoy this type of content, make sure you subscribe so you can stay up to date when I'm releasing new videos. And as always, go ahead and give me a follow on my other social media accounts where I'm pumping out a bunch of daily content for you guys. I'll see you next time.